I was single and already had a daughter with my ex-fiance. I went out with a few guys now and then, but I was single. I had a nice future ahead of me. I finished college and I was expecting a promotion in my company. My family was so proud of me. Honestly though, I was lonely in life. After one day of work, I went out with some friends and then I met a great guy who really likes me. We ended up going out for a few months and then I found out I was pregnant. I did one of those home pregnancy tests and I thought it was wrong. So I did another one and it was the same result. I can't believe this happened to me again. Because I didn't want to go through that again, I started to think about having an abortion. No one else saw the test, so I immediately began to figure how to get an abortion. I did have a future to think about. Would I be able to raise 2 children as a single parent? It didn't seem possible. There was no way to face my family. They would not be happy. Another baby was out of the question. I was all alone. I didn't know where to go or what to do. I was scared to death.
Loneliness is a horrible feeling. Being alone with your thoughts, not able to share them with your friends and family. Maybe you feel like Maria and don't know what to do about the decisions you face.
I went to church my whole life and was taught not to have sex before marriage. But by the time I went to college, I was just annoyed with everything in my life, and I wanted to live my life on my own. My boyfriend and I really loved each other, and we decided to start sleeping together. It just felt right. I thought we'd be together forever. I couldn't tell anyone back home, especially my parents. They would never understand. About 6 months later, I found out I was pregnant. I didn't know what to do, so I asked my favorite professor, who I really trusted, and she talked to me about abortion. She assured me it was completely confidential and no one would find out, and dropping out of school was definitely not an option. I didn't think I would ever consider abortion, but when I found out I was pregnant, I began to think about it. I mean, no one would have to find out and I could stay in school. All these things just kept going around and around in my head and I couldn't figure out what to do. It was such a horrible time. I was under so much stress. I really felt like I was going crazy.
Fear of rejection and being judged by the people you love can be an overwhelming feeling. Just like Ashley, you may feel like this and not know how to decide what to do about your situation.
I was really happy and dating a guy named James. Then one thing led to another, and I found out I was pregnant. When I told him I was pregnant, he said, "Hey, baby, I'm sorry. I'll take care of it." I was so relieved to hear him say that, but I did not know what that meant. I asked him what he wanted to do, and he said, "I think you should have an abortion, but don't worry, I'll pay for it." I was so surprised. Didn't he want to have a baby with me? I thought he loved me. I felt so alone because the one person who was supposed to be with me in this just wanted it all to go away, like it never happened. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew I did not want to lose James. I was afraid that I might if I didn't have the abortion, since that is so clearly what he wanted. Even when I talked to my sister, she couldn't tell me what to do. But she did say she would support me no matter what. I was really scared and confused.
You know, these 3 situations are not that different. An unplanned pregnancy can touch anyone at any point in their lives. However, the choices they face remain the same. What makes them different is the decision each of them made.
After some long, hard days wrestling with what to do, I decided abortion was my only option. So I dropped Nicole off in my parents' home, and then I went to the clinic. The nurse called me, and then I went into that room. I was so alone again. I didn't know what to do. It seems to me like an eternity. I never felt like I was supposed to be there. So I just got up and left. The next couple of weeks, I was trying to think about how in the world I'm gonna raise these 2 children without help. So I didn't have an option, and I started to talk with my mother. She was such a big help. We found a doctor, and she also helped me to find people who locate the resources to help me out to raise those 2 children. So now I have a very beautiful boy, and I can't imagine my life without him.
I decided I needed to talk to someone else. So I asked my best friend what she thought I should do. And she told me about this local clinic I could go to. Now, I didn't know what this clinic could do for me, but I felt like I had nowhere else to turn, so I went. The nurse at the clinic gave me a pregnancy test to confirm my pregnancy, and while we were waiting, she asked me what I wanted to do. I said, I don't know, I just can't imagine having a baby right now. But I also told her my friend suggested adoption, so we talked about that. She suggested a few adoption agencies I could check out for myself. I found out that there's this type of adoption that you can choose the families based on scrapbooks they put together, and then they'd keep me updated with pictures. I could see what kind of life my baby had from a distance. I liked that, and I think that was the best choice for me and my family. So after we looked through what seemed like hundreds of scrapbooks, I found a great family that I knew would give my baby a great home. One of the best things was the help I received during my pregnancy. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, but I know I made the right choice for me and my baby. It can be hard sometimes, but I'm proud of the decision I made.
At first, after the abortion, I felt relieved, but it started to get really hard. I began to think about that day and relive that moment over and over in my mind. When I did, it was like this pain in my chest. It hurt, but I didn't know why. There was this constant pain with me no matter where I was or what I was going through. I was so depressed and had nightmares. Three months later, James and I split. I felt like I was just shutting down. I wish someone had described the pain that I would have to go through after having an abortion. They told me my life would be like it was before, and it's not. Not even close.
While all these stories are different, each one was faced with the same decision. Like Maria, Ashley, and Christina, you have the same decision to make. Before you start to decide which option is easier, least painful, or less expensive, an important thing to consider is how each option will affect you. The decision you make isn't over in a week, a month, or even a year. It's something you will carry with you for the rest of your life. If you need additional information, someone at your center can help you so you can make an informed decision.